This is Danny Flexen here for Seconds Out. Delighted to be joined by top trainer, my good friend Mark Tibbs. Mark, how you doing, mate?
Lovely, Danny. Good to see and hear from you. I've been watching your videos and always a pleasure to see what's going on in our boxing world. Yeah.
I'm glad to hear it. And you're in a hotel room clearly at the moment. Are you out in Dublin for the Kingpin show?
Do you know what, Danny? I'm out here. I've gone to a very good friend of mine's funeral. So I was at the funeral and up in Dundalk area. And very a man that's been, I call him my uncle, but he's not my blood uncle, but he's been like a father and a brother to me. And his mum died, so we used to come here on our holidays to a place called Eden Tapa, and I've been in Eden Tapa. It was lovely to see all my fellow children I used to play with, and they're all as old as me now, and it's lovely to see them. And beautiful send off she had. Lily, her name was, who died, who passed. So it was a great. It's great for me to be in Ireland anyway. I'm here for the Kingpin show as well. So from Dundalk, I've got a bus down to Dublin, and we're here. We're going to watch my client do the business Saturday night.
Obviously, I'm very sorry for your loss. Although, as you said, it must be nice to catch up with old friends you haven't seen for ages as well. And hopefully they think you haven't changed a bit. You look more like your dad to me every day.
Do you know what, Danny? I had a wonderful time out here as a kid, me and my brother Jimmy. And it was lovely to see the landscape and the hills that we used to roam and run about. And we used to drive horses. We used to ride horses. You can tell we're city boys, but we used to ride horses. But it's nice to see all our and the elders. They look so bloody young. The elders. It must be the fresh air and the water they drink over here in Dublin. Yeah.
Well, you're not looking so bad yourself, mate. So maybe London's not too bad either. But it's good to have you back in the boxing scene. As you said, you've got L Brooke in action in the Kingpin tournament at the weekend. There was a lot of concern last week about what was going to happen with the tournament. I think the female side was always planned to be going ahead, but there was talk about the male side maybe falling off and some issues with the promotion. How much were you aware of that, and did it disrupt your preparations at all?
Dan, it didn't. I heard whispers of it, and until I get 100% thumbs down, I'll continue as if. And I'm glad I did, because the lady's worked very hard, and she's gonna fight Saturday night. And in the same process, I've been prepping other fighters for jobs. Joel Bartel, he was fighting at York Hall on the. He was meant to be fighting on the 20 something in a couple of weeks, but that's been moved. It's a boxing social event that's been moved. Big promoter's got to pick him up sooner or later, because he's a star in the making. Box fighter, middleweight, plenty of personality, can punch, sells tickets like consistently. But Joel Bartel, big promoters look out for him.
I'll keep him in mind.
Yeah, and Johnny Fisher's in the gym at the minute. He's about to make an announcement on a fight date, which is going to be a good step up for him, and it's going to be the making of him. Actually, it's because he's had a little bit of a negative response on people he's getting rid of, but it's not his fault. He only fights people he's been put in front of, but he will make an announcement very soon. I'm hoping in the next couple of days. But so he's being prepped, ready for a date very soon. Yeah.
And obviously you're there, as you said, for L Brooke. What's the journey been like with her so far? Because the whole influence thing was mocked a bit at the start, but she's one of the few who've gone into a professional gym alongside pro fighters and really come on.
Well, I'm glad you said that, Dan, because I'm with her quite a lot. She's a pleasure to work with, and I just train her like any other fighter, and they give me the respect, and we work together as a team with her manager, and I just train her like I do or any other fighter, and she fits into my schedule really well, and yeah, it's working okay. She's been with me for about a year now, or plus, but everyone tells me she's coming on, but where I'm with her constantly, it's difficult, for me to gauge sometimes because of how busy I am.
And it's the semi-finals this week. If all goes well and she goes on, wins the whole thing, is there any possibility in your mind and in her mind that she could actually make a go of boxing?
Well, it's entirely up to her herself. She's 24 years of age. She's understanding the logistics of what's in front of her, how to operate like whatever shape or build they are in front of us. That's how we can't, as a fighter, we know how to we've got a plan in our head how to break this person down, and she's getting to understand that. Her feet are great. Her feet are great. They come on so wonders. She moves her feet brilliant. I feel that she's got a nice bit of power, and she's boxing nice. She's boxing really, really nice. She's got a tough fight Saturday night against a Brazilian lady by the name of Julie. She's a strong lady, and she fights a certain way. And we've been practicing a certain way how to break that style down. So hopefully, as long as she holds this together, she'll be all right. Yeah.
Oh, good stuff. Now, one of the things that helps in her development is, of course, the sparring she's had with Ebanie Bridges, reigning IBF bantamweight champion. She's no longer at the gym, which is obviously a shame for Brooke and for you. You guys seem very close. I'm assuming, looking from the outside, it was a pretty amicable split.
Yeah, I mean, Ebony was fun, and she was my first female boxer. And when Eddie gave us the job to fight for the world title, it was a real good challenge for myself. So to work with a lady, with a female, and I met Ebony in Eddie's garden once at some function or some do that he had on, a boxing show it must have been, and she was nice, and she come back to the gym, and we got a date for the world title fight. We won it against Roman, I believe, up in Leeds. We had a good fight, a hard fight, but we come through with flying colours and won the world title, and I was really, really proud of that. And then we got a defence by Shannon O'Connell, yeah, Shannon O'Connell. And to be fair, Shannon gave me the fire and the drive, because it was a really it was a needly fight. You know what I mean? I think we was expected to go to Australia, and Ebony was quite right, saying, "No, I'm based myself in the UK now. I'm the champion. You're coming here." So we won and defended, and we had a great journey. I did anyway, and Ebony's she's done very, very well, and she's going to continue, hopefully, to unify. I'd like to have unified with her, but she has a life up north. That she loves the lifestyle up north. When she come to me down south in London, she told me, she expressed to me how she loved the north and the northern people, and I never thought that she would stay in the truth, but she did. She won the world title and defending it. So we've all had we've all got something out of it, and I'm sure she'll go on to as I say, to unify. Yeah.
Great.
She's got all the attributes, very good attributes, Ebony. She's got something about her, as I said before, that you can't put your finger on it, and she's a very, very determined individual. Yeah.
Good stuff. Now, another very determined individual is, of course, the Romford Bull, Johnny Fisher.
Yeah.
You mentioned him earlier, taking a step up in his next fight. I know you won't be able to tell us who that's against. We'll wait for the announcement. But we saw a lot of talk recently about the British title with Fraser Clark and Fabio Wardley and the controversy there. And it now looks like Wardley will be defending against David Adelaide, or that will at least be named as his mandatory challenger. How far do you feel now Johnny Fisher is from that British title level?
Yeah, he's not too far. He's 24 years of age. He's in the gym. He's just a unique specimen, as in bundles of energy, life. You know what I mean? He's got bundles of life, and strong, very naturally strong. And so yeah, I'm looking forward to when we get to that British title level. But listen, let's concentrate on the English and the southern area right now. And as you say, Fabio Wardley and Adelaide are just above him at the minute. And like, he's mature. What's his name? Fabio, he's 27, 28 years of age. John's 24, and so he'll go through them stages. You know what I mean? And then when Johnny gets that and becomes British champion, which I know he can be and he will be, there'll be some other young lions coming up behind him, and you'll be saying to them and their trainer, when you're going to look about Johnny Fisher. So that's how it goes. It's a process that he has to go through, and everyone goes through to get to the very, very top. Fingers crossed.
And the other John Hedges, obviously even taller than Johnny Fisher, even though he's not in the same weight class. What's the latest with him? Big talent there.
Amazing talent, Johnny Hedges. Under the radar a little bit, and rightly so. Because when I mean rightly so, it's like I say, because he's got that talent, and people of experience can see where that talent can go. Don't mean to say he can do it tomorrow. Do you know what I mean? He's got a very cute boxing brain, and no one can hit him in the gym. He knows how to not get hit. I've said this before, but he's getting very offensive, more confident now. And trust me, if he's still around in a few years' time, he will be another Tyson Fury. I mean, heavyweight, and he'll be a good heavyweight and all. He's got the size, the length, and that he's got. He's a very, very, very good boxer, John Hedges. Yeah.
Do we see him challenging for title soon? Do you think?
Yeah, indeed. He's just had a hand operation not too long ago. With Mike Hayton up in Manchester, who's done a fantastic job. He does a good job on a few of my fighters. They always come out with thumbs up and don't have no problems after that. So he's just got to heal this, get some recovery on this hand. And I understand he phoned me a couple of weeks ago or a week ago, and give me an update where he is. And it all made sense. He knows he's clever, like, if you know what I mean, what he's going to do, and get some rehabilitation and get that hand strong again, because he's the operation. And I'm sure he'll be back. I think he'll be back in the gym talking in a couple of weeks' time. So fight wise, it's up to SJAM. I think they want to push him on a little bit before the end of the year, and why not? He'll be ready for that. I'd like him to see him have a run out before, because it would have been a bit of time before a title fight. So he's due a run out before he fights for any title. But yeah, I expect him to fight for a title before Christmas.
Good stuff. Now, there's two huge heavyweight fights taking place next month. We've seen the press conferences for both of those already this week. And you've had some experience with at least two of the fighters involved. So I wanted to ask you a little bit about that. First of all, you've got Daniel Dubois stepping into the Lion's Den out in Poland to take on the unified world heavyweight champion, Oleksandr Usyk. I know you didn't spend a long time working with Daniel, but he was in the gym for a little bit. What have you seen in him that gives hope that he could challenge Usyk? Because a lot of people are writing him off.
Yeah, well, I can understand why they're writing Daniel off, Danny, because he's a couple of his previous performances, it's a little bit odd in the corner, and obviously he had to save himself from going blind when he took the knee. But he's up against a very, 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 I haven't got to tell you, this operator has got vast amounts of experience. He's a great boxer at cruiserweight and now operating at heavyweight. But he can almost hypnotize his opposition with his fluidity boxing, if you know what I'm saying, in his ring craft, in his IQ. So it's a very, very difficult task for Daniel. But what Daniel's got going for him is, if he can hold that brain together, yeah, and he's got the physical attributes, as in the strength, the size, and the weight, speed, and power. He's got all of that. If he can just, I think if he can steady up Usyk and clip his whiskers. He's got to clip them whiskers of his, and I think if he can get round him, enough, he can knock anyone out, because of he's a very, very sharp, heavy-handed shooter, Daniel Dubois. And like I say, he's got the attributes above Usyk, as in size, power, and strength. But you know, there's been plenty of little men that know how to take down big men. It's just a know-how, and I think it's a probably yes, it's a slim chance of Daniel winning, but there's always a puncher's chance. And yeah, I can't wait for that fight. Can't wait for that fight. And let's hope he bloody well does it, because then we can bring that heavyweight titles all back to our shores and fly the flag for
fingers
British
crossed.
boxing.
And the other one is, of course, Dillian Whyte's rematch with Anthony Joshua. You were with Dillian for a long time. Most people credit you with being in the corner for the best period of his career. I think that's undoubted, looking at the record. And now he's going back in with Joshua. Neither of them have been in great form in the last year or so. Joshua arguably fighting at a higher level, though, with those losses to Usyk before he fought Franklin. What do you make of the rematch, especially at this stage of their careers?
I was always saying when guys a few months ago, like yourself, was asking me about where does Dillian go from here and Anthony Joshua, and I was thinking, well, they deserve each other, you know. And I think it's a lot of people are putting the fight down, you know. But listen, that's a good fight for British boxing, and for them, each other, and if anyone shines, whoever wins that fight, because it is it like looking at Joshua's performance, his last performances, I say he ain't looked the best. We know he has looked better, if you know what I'm saying. But there's something quite missing there. I think same with Dillian, but the styles, you know, they've both got a chance with each other. I think AJ's physically the better specimen, but it ain't all about physical like appearances and that. It's about up here and know-how and cunningness and all them things. But I think it's a great fight for British boxing fans, and if anyone can shine and look good, then they're back in the big time, you know, back up the top again. But you know, AJ's got a big commercial value as you know, than Dillian, and if I'm not too sure if AJ can get back to where he was, and same with Dillian. But I can't wait for that fight. I think it's a great fight, and people shouldn't put it down. And I think they're going to both give us a good show. Yeah.
How do you compare the Dillian Whyte of recent times with the one you worked with for so long?
Well, to be fair, you know, when you're not working with them, Dan, when you stop working with them, like obviously, I'll see what I see online and on the telly, but it's difficult for me to make judgment on that, and I won't. But we had 11 fights, 11 wins. We got to world number one, and you know, I had the best of Dillian. You know, he was great to work with, and I listened to Buddy McGirt last night, and I listened to his take on Dillian, and yeah, and I second that. He's great to work with. He's a real student, a real taskmaster, and not taskmaster. He's a real hard grafter. Like,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He don't shy away from hard work. And like I've said before, you know, if he was going to war and he was on your side, you know, you'd feel good.
And if you were in the corner, obviously, as you just mentioned, it's Buddy McGirt this time around. There's been a few trainers since you, I think. But if it was you in the corner, what would be the tactics? What would you be advising Dillian to do to give him his best chance against Joshua?
Someone asked me that today, but I would think about like AJ's psychological aspect ain't been brilliant of late, and he's been a bit confused himself. So I think I'll take the fight to him, and take the street to him, so to speak, and you know, in a controlled manner. But you know, and yeah, and take it to him straight away. Won't give him a chance, you know, a bit like Ruiz. You know, when Ruiz got going with his combos, it completely threw Anthony Joshua, and I don't think he's ever been the same since. But I do see, though, I saw when he fought Franklin, when Anthony boxed Franklin last time out, I saw a glimpse of Derek James's work in it, and now he's been working with him a lot longer. I'm sure he'll be even more polished, and it's hopefully he can climb in his head, AJ's head, and get him back to where he was, because it'll be a great fight. Yeah.
We're talking about kind of AJ's psychological issues. On the flip side, Dillion's lost 3 times now, stopped by an uppercut each time as well. Never seems to show any kind of apprehension, any fear. Those losses don't seem to have affected him in the same way maybe AJ's defeats have.
Well, they should do, because Anthony Joshua can throw a good uppercut. So he's got to get that shoulder round, or that parry hand as well. If the shoulder can't stop the uppercut, the parry hand does. Do you know what I mean? He's got to move his feet. He's got to come off the line that side, that side. He can't afford to get caught by any uppercut again. Dillian, no, for sure, because I think Anthony can throw them shots, and obviously, and you got to watch the left hook after that as well. Got to get that one up as well.
You said about wanting someone on your side if you were going to war. If it goes into the later rounds and does become kind of grueling, would you favour Dillian then?
I think when I worked with Dillian, he was good to the end. I got to say, he was good to the end. I think Anthony blows a little bit, puffs a little bit. I think if Dillian can drag him into the later rounds, I think that would work for him. Yeah, definitely.
Great stuff. Mark, it's always a pleasure. Really insightful. Very best of luck with Elle at the weekend. And yeah, look forward to seeing you back in the UK. I've
got another fighter. I can't really, we haven't nailed things down yet, but I'm very excited. He's an established fighter. He's knocking on to big things, knocking on the doors to big things. But I wish I could have let you know about that, Danny. But listen, let's hopefully give me another week and we might have some news.
All right, I'm going to be like trying to guess who it is now for next week. But yeah, thanks for that.
Cheers, Dan.
Cheers, Mark. Take care, mate.